Good morning, it's Kat Simpson, the Travel Nona. So I'm here to talk about Kat's second act again, so I hope you're interested. Today's title is, Are You a Grieving Empty Nest Mom? And if you remember yesterday, I talked about how I didn't even realize that's what was going on, but I was. So since then, I've learned a lot about being an empty nest mom, about how it affects some women and doesn't affect others to the same extent. How, just like postpartum depression, some moms have it, some moms don't. It's just different. So I went and looked and did some research. I've been doing research on this a lot for the last couple of years, but one of the things I wanted to share today were the 4 tips from the Mayo Clinic. And I thought that, these types of things had helped me, and I thought maybe they could help you. First, before that, I want to talk a little bit about how it can be very unexpected. And again, the similarities to postpartum depression are there because most moms, especially first-time moms that are having their baby, they're so excited and they're so in love with their baby and they're so wonderfully excited about getting started with this new phase in their life, and then they come home with this beautiful baby and they're incredibly depressed. And the whole thought process is, I feel sad, I feel upset, but I shouldn't feel that way, so there must be something wrong with me. And it goes through that cycle. Now, this is not one of the things that I have struggled with. We all have our struggles. That wasn't one for me. But empty nest mom, grief is a lot like that. The more I research, the more I study, because it's very unexpected. And I don't know about you, but that's how it hit me. And it hit me really hard when my first child left home. And I talked yesterday about when my last child left home and my nest was truly empty. It was just me and the hubs, right? And the dog and the cat. But it really surprised me when the first child left home. And that's what the BBC article that I was looking for you guys this morning talks about, how it can be very unexpected. And I want to talk about some of the famous people that have shared how this affected them. Empty nest mom is the common hashtag, title, but this affects fathers also. And one of the most famous fathers that I found a good quote from was Gordon Ramsay. Now, if you don't know Gordon Ramsay, he's a celebrity chef, and he is well known for just giving it to people. Not as necessarily good grandma words either, nasty words, but he'll just give it to them. And so you would think of him as this very tough person, at least I did. But when I read this particular article about him in the BBC, he said that this emotion of grief when his son left home really shocked him. And there's that unexpectedness again. He said that when he went into his son's room after he'd taken his son to university, dropped him off, came home, wasn't expecting anything, proud of his son, excited for his son's new future, feeling like he had done a great job as a dad, right? He had this great kid who was going off to college and everything was wonderful. So he went into his room and the word he used was gutted. He said he felt absolutely gutted. And, think about Gordon Ramsay, what it would take to make that man feel that kind of grief. And then the funny part of it is, he said that to make himself feel better, he grabbed a pair of his son's pants and wore them for the rest of the day. So that it happens. Another mom, an author who wrote a book about grief and empty nest, she said it hit her because when her son left, she was so excited to go clean his room. And those of you who've been parents of teenagers can understand that urge. Most of us, when they're teenagers, we close the door and we just, try not to let it get to the health department stage. But other than that, we kind of let it go. It's not a huge battle to fight, right? So she couldn't wait. Her son went off to college. Daddy was dropping him off. She was all excited. She got the rubber gloves on, the whole bit, right? Went into his room and started tossing, candy wrappers and old socks. You guys know the smell of a teenager's room, right? So she started doing that, and she said in the middle of it, she looked at the trash bag and the laundry basket, and she realized that when she got everything cleaned, it wouldn't be her son's room anymore. And she said it hit her, and her words were tidal wave. It hit her like a tidal wave. And so she said she just sat there and cried. Her word was bawled. That's kind of the ugly crying version. So did you do that? When? Why? Think about that, okay? Because most of us do at one point or another. For me, it was when my first child drove off from home in his little, I think, remember the name of the car, but it was like a Pinto or something, a neon. It was a neon. And it was an old car, and it was this little bitty car. I was so proud of my son because he was the oldest of 5. Okay, nobody, I was so busy with the 3 little ones that I had no time to help him with college applications, any of that. His dad was military. He was off doing his military thing. So he did on his own. He got scholarships. He got grants. We were so proud of him, of how hard he had worked and what a great thing he had done. And so we were like, yay, Ken, go. This is awesome. So proud of you. Hugs, get in the car, waving. And suddenly, when the car drove off the street, I started running after it. And my husband had to grab me. What are you doing? And I was like, I can't let him go. Still emotional, okay? And he's 40 now. So this is 20 years ago. But remembering that emotion can still make me very vulnerable. I don't know about you. Anyway, so the grief sometimes for an empty nest mom is an unexpected grief. Just so you know, you're not alone if you didn't expect that. If you were and still are proud of your children, you can still grieve what you've lost. So, what does the Mayo Clinic say? The Mayo Clinic says that if you do not recognize what is going on in your life and take steps to alleviate your feelings and to make yourself feel better, empty nest is known to create, are you ready? Depression, alcoholism and drug abuse, identity crisis, and marital conflict. So, it's not weird that you feel this way. It's not abnormal that you didn't expect it. But it is dangerous to deny it and to pretend it's not happening and to try to push it down. So what does the Mayo Clinic recommend you do? Well, we probably could have come up with these on our own, girlfriend, okay? Because it's, pretty common. But sometimes when you're in the middle of that grief and that depression, common sense is not common, and you can't think your way out of it. So just in case that's you. 4 steps from the Mayo Clinic. Number 1, accept it. Acknowledge it. Let it out of the hiding corner of your brain. It's okay. It's normal. You're not weird. I'm weird, but not because of that. Keep in touch. That's their second thing. Well, duh, right? But remember, they're moving on. You're not. Their life is changing. What I found very interesting was that the first week that my son was gone, I got a call every day, maybe twice a day. Just silly things. And I thought, what? I think he was just touching base, just reaching out. You're still there, right? If this doesn't work out, you're still there. My security's still there, right? Yeah. And as he went on, those calls became less and less. He didn't need us as much. And that meant we had done our job. Okay, but stay in touch. That little thread of connection will help. Seek support. That's what this whole thing, this cat second act thing is all about. We need to acknowledge what we're going through. Seek the support of other women and men who have been through this, because there are empty nest dads struggling just as much as we do. Maybe in a different way, but still struggling and still in grief. Seek support and stay positive. There were a lot of ideas in that article about things you could do. One woman actually went out and took on foreign exchange students. And I thought, that was kind of smart. I still had 4 teenagers in my house, so I still had that to nurture. But she said when her daughter left, it was her only child, and she had all this nurturing with no place to go. And so she decided to bring in a foreign exchange student, and that really helped her. So there's a lot of ideas in that article. If you want a link to that article, just message me below or send me a private message if you don't want to do it publicly, and I'll send you that article from the Mayo Clinic. And maybe a couple of suggestions of books that I found helpful. So anyway, last but not least, last week on one of my Facebook Lives, I talked about something I was trying called the Makeup Eraser. Okay, I'm not selling this because this is not an affiliate or anything. It's just have a hard time remembering to take my makeup off every night. It's just like by the end of the night, I'm like, oh, just go to bed, you know? And at my age, can't do that. You really shouldn't do that at any age. But the older I get, you know, I really need to at least take my makeup off because it's damaging to your skin, leave it on overnight. But it was just, you know, the whole skincare routine, the 1, 2, 3 steps and pulling the hair back. And it was just like, ugh, one more thing. I just want to go to bed. So I kept skipping it, even though I knew I shouldn't. And then one day on one of my Facebook things, I saw this advertisement for the makeup eraser. And I got the sherbet colored one, but they come in all different colors. And it's just a microfiber cloth, but it's treated in some way I don't know. Antibacterial and something else. It's got 2 sides to it. This is the makeup eraser side. It's a lower pile. And then this higher raised pile is an exfoliating section. It works, guys. I told you when I got it that I would let you know, and it works. I'm gonna get my granddaughter wants one, so I'm gonna get one for her. I told her if it worked, I'd get her one. But all you do is wet it with warm water, and then circular motions. Takes off the eye makeup, the mascara, takes off the lipstick, takes off everything. And then if you want, you can use the other side for an exfoliator. You can finish with your regular skincare, or that's it. Depends on the night what I do. But anyway, I told you guys about this and I wanted to let you know that it works. It was $20, I think, for one of them. And then they have different kits and all that. But just look, I think their website is makeuperaser.com. I mean, it's really easy. And if you're looking for a solution, their idea was that you can use this instead of like 2,000 of those makeup wipes. So their push was the environment to save, you know, all those throwaway wipes that we're using. I just like it because of the convenience. So anyway, I hope you like it. And if you are needing support, looking for something, please reach out because that's why I'm doing this. And I love you all. Have a great weekend. Bye.